Increase the recoil. Reduce the randomness of said recoil so it's readable. Increase the spread. Add limb multipliers. Nerf Claymores by a ton. Make them visible too. Actually visible grenade indicator, please. Make headshots worth it. Visibility needs a lot of work. Fix the audio. Nerf shotguns. Spread is always going to be an abusable mechanic, no matter how much it's increased, because you can always just burst fire to play outside of your intended damage range. Increase TTK, TTD so that it's more skill curve. Nerf RPG versus infantry. Remove environmental damage dice. Netcode still needs work. I saw a lot of wish lists over the weekend about changes some players wanted to see in the game. Now, some of these seemed to be legit on the surface, but overall I heard in my head reading some of these. Not because I don't think the game requires improvements, because in some pockets it does, but because it seems a lot of these folks are confusing preference with issues. So let's hop on and see what's what. Allow me to start off with this. This is your friendly reminder that I am an average, casual player. I play for fun. Is winning fun? Well, sure. Is killing more than dying fun? Well, yes, on the surface. But see, I don't give a flying fuck about my KD ratio. Sure, getting kill streaks look great on paper, but it's not the only skill in the game players can work on, master, or focus on. I'm more about the overall experience. Was I entertained? Did the team win? More on that later. Did I accomplish any goals I had planned for this match? How many dog tags did I collect? What was my furthest headshot, no matter what weapon I'm using? There's a comprehensive list here, but those are just some of the basics. One of the things I take great enjoyment in is, did I learn something? Okay, so dude popped me in the face with a rocket launcher. I pay attention to the death cam. Is he moving to a new spot? No? Okay, I got you now, motherfucker. Respawn, go back in where he was at, hit from a different angle, sneaky, oh look, new dog tags! Just lying on the ground where this dude's body's at. Neat! Dying in this game, whether it's a one-off or repeatedly, is a metric. Most people measure success or failure with this metric, and either determine the game sucks, which is childish, or if they suck, which is more realistic and mature. So, the first few people who repeatedly died and realize it's a skill issue on them, they can work on improving or stay the same. If they stay the same, they either quit the game or they simply just roll on with the game and are unbothered by their deaths. Me, I look at deaths as, okay, what can I do to avoid that next time? I don't blame the game because that's stupid. I don't blame a player because he saw me and was faster. I definitely don't create a wish list to blast the developers, and I don't go to the interwebs with a laundry list of whans to invalidate my mistakes or remove focus from my skill level. Did we win? If we lost the match but had fun, did we really lose? Sure, we lost the match, but we were rolling at some of the chaos, the lucky multi-kill, ending a camper's kill streak, finally getting an opportunity to complete a challenging task, what have you. You made friends and sent a friend request because finally someone in the session plays like you. So I'll ask it again. Did we really lose? It seems to me you have two overall choices here. Your first choice. Play something else more your speed. and I have more on that coming up later in the video. If a game is too challenging for you on the metrics of how it is designed, not including the technical flaws, that's key here, then perhaps a slower or dumber game might be better suited to your limitations in patience and understanding of how the metrics and mechanics are designed here. I'm trying really hard here not to say get good, scrub, or play a single-player game, because I understand for a lot of players it's more nuanced than that. But Battlefield 6 is a casual first-person shooter. This is not anywhere in the neighborhood of an elite-level shooter. And quite frankly, if anyone's saying otherwise, they're trying to sell you something. It has some challenging elements, sure. And there's like 1% of the overall gaming community that are elite players, and they know in their heart of hearts that the Battlefield franchise is easy mode to them. They people farm and call it good gameplay. Yet they want Battlefield to be elite, which is why you see all these unrealistic laundry lists of preferences, not issues, they drop in their socials, polls, and surveys. But Battlefield is not elite. EA isn't going to make a franchise elite because 1% of players would play it and they'd lose money. That's simple economics, kiddos. So the self-proclaimed elitists like Enders or Sergeant Danger Cow, hell, even Reve, can cry all they want, but EA or DICE will never implement 99% of their wish lists because the we Battlefield dads and our average lead-brained casual gamer core are kings here. Sorry, kiddos, I don't make the rules here. The second choice you have is simply practice. Success is not an overnight thing here, guys. It requires repeated trial and error until you find the solution. Then, you gotta test the solution repeatedly to be confident of success. So in a polite way, I am saying get good, scrubs. But I'm just not being an asshole about it. It's more of a constructive point of view. If I keep getting my clock cleaned by some random dude on the map, I do what I can to pay him back. Even the kill death score, take his tags, sledge to the face, RPG the shit out of his spot. It's especially fun and satisfying if it's at the end of the match and I get the final kill because, sure, he got me 10 times, but I got his dog tags, and the match is over before he can even respawn. See, that's fun to me. We lost the match. He killed me 10 times, but I got his dog tags. And the day is as bright as rain to me afterwards. You have your KD Kings where that's the only way they can have fun. That seems a bit shallow to me if that's the only way you can have fun. But I'm getting a little sidetracked here. We're going over the differences between issues and preferences. So, the laundry list I mentioned before. I'm going to separate the ones that are more aligned with preferences from actual issues, because the lists I read about over the weekend is a developer's nightmare. There's a third option, and I'll go over that after the first two. So, the preferences. Increase recoil, reduce randomness of said recoil so it's readable, increase spread, add limb multipliers, nerf Claymores by a ton, make headshots worth it, nerf shotguns, remove environmental damage, nerf RPG versus infantry, and increase TTK, TTD so there's more skill curve. The actual issues, netcode still needs work, fix the audio. The rest? I'm not sure how to categorize this, but here's the rest. Actually visible grenade indicator, please. Visibility needs a lot of work. And spread is always going to be an abusable metric no matter how much it's increased because you can always just burst fire to play outside your intended damage range. Now, these lists are a masterclass in community cognitive dissonance. It's especially wild because we are literally a week into Season 2, Phase 2, Nightfall, and the community is asking for things that would fundamentally break the very map we just got. And by extension, would break a lot of other maps. Increase the recoil, reduce randomness of said recoil so it's readable, and increase the spread? So let me see if I get this straight. Some in the community are asking to increase the recoil but reduce the randomness so it's readable, while simultaneously demanding an increase in the spread? So you want to stop people from beaming in the face, but spread is inherently RNG, folks. In the tight CQB maps, increased spread means you'll miss a guy 5 feet in front of you because of a dice roll. You can't have readable recoil and high spread at the same time. If the spread is high, your readable recoil pattern doesn't matter because the bullets aren't going where you're aiming anyway. This falls into a skill trap. Remember Mr. Spread? He's saying it's always going to be an abusable metric no matter how much it's increased because you can always just burst fire to play outside your intended damage range. You want a skill curve via recoil, but then complain about burst fire being an abusable mechanic. Burst firing is the skill curve for managing spread and recoil, dumbass. If you remove the benefit of bursting by just using hard damage drop-offs, you turn every gunfight into a stat check rather than a test of mechanical control. Did a few weapons turn into lasers? Maybe. The Cord was a laser before the latest update. If you can't beat them, join them. If the Cord is a laser, fucking use it. See if you can increase your skills. If you don't, then it's not the spread. It's not the recoil. It's you. Claymores need a ton of nerfs. Guys, Claymores have been a one-shot kill since, forever. Sure, there's a visual issue, but they're booby traps. You died from a Claymore because of sight issues in the map and combined with a map awareness problem. That's a skill issue too. You have players dropping them in really special places, which is also a skill. I'd argue that they aren't powerful enough. I know that these goddamn little bastards could do in real life. One of two assets in the US military I felt nervous being near, let alone handle in my hands. And I used to jump out of planes for a living. I think they should be able to kill and wipe squads. If you have 4 guys walking past a Claymore in this game, 1 player will automatically die and the rest will take damage. That's not powerful enough as far as I'm concerned. You get 4 guys walking past that bitch, all 4 of them should die. I'm sorry guys, it's a Claymore, an anti-personnel mine. It's not a soft pillow to lay your head down upon and have sweet dreams. Headshots need to be worth it. Good grief. Like, what the fuck do you mean by this? You cause an instant death to the opponent. You can even nail players in the face to immediately remove the revive option. This causes the opposing team to immediately lose a ticket. So, you need to be a bit more specific with this. What the fuck are you talking about? Nerf shotguns. Man, firstly, shotties have been one-shot OP since way back. Do not touch the goddamn shotties. They're fine the way they are. It's a CQB weapon with one shot. Snipers are one-shot long-distance weapons. Are you going to suggest that the snipers need to be nerfed too? And speaking of the sweet spot for snipers, also leave it be. Perhaps look for that rainbow-colored scope glint while you're bunny hopping around. Remove environmental damage? Dude, really? Okay, let me see if I understand this. You bitched we didn't get Levolution in Battlefield 6, and now you want to remove all the environmental destruction? What, did you get crushed by falling debris one too many times and consider it a bullshit kill? My dude, you put yourself in a place that can crush you. Sounds again like a map awareness skill issue. If you remove environmental damage, you just have a static, boring map. And you already bitch about how boring maps are now, even though we are 5 months into the game. This is Battlefield, kiddos. Removing environmental damage, whether it's in the subterranean base, a building in the middle of Cairo, turns the game into a generic hero shooter map. And nobody wants that. Nerf the RPG against players as infantry? My dude. On a meat grinder map like Haggatall Base, the RPG is the only thing keeping the shotgun meta boys in check. If they nerf explosives and shotguns, the tunnels just become a stalemate of people staring at each other. You have a slew of tools at your disposal: grenades, RPGs, shotties, repair bots, C4. If you're facing a few dudes, or for fuck's sake the entire team of RPG spammers, you find a way over them, through them, around them, or under them. I would suggest hopping out of that match, but I'm sure you'll fire back with, "They're on every match," which I highly doubt. My doubt is based on my own playing experience and not seeing every single match with this tomfoolery. I don't even see it. I see it once out of every 10 matches. Increasing the TTK, TTD so there's more skill curve. So you want to increase the TTK for a skill curve, but in a game where people are already complaining about audio and visibility issues, a higher TTK often just means more people getting away after being outplayed because they tanked the hits.
Oh, he's fucking...
You think it rewards aim, but it's actually rewarding stacking and numbers. On any map with all these flanking routes, a high TTK makes it impossible for a solo player to win a 1v2. It forces a death ball meta. I have noticed that a lot of increase the TTK, TTD comments come from more elitist players and rarely, if ever, come from the bulk of the community. You know, the casuals. I tend to ignore this preference because of that one thing. If you want higher TTK, there's games out there that cater to that sort of thing. Higher TTK players are an extreme minority in this franchise. And the best of those elitists who believe the TTK or TTD needs to be increased don't bitch about it. They play the game and kill you and move on. They found a way to work around the current TTK meta and just mowed you down. Now, the actual issues.
Contact! Hostile troops sighted!
Netcode still needs work. Okay, there's some truth to this, depending on who you talk to. Me, I'm not having an issue with the netcode. I'm on PC and I'm direct connected to my router. I flush my DNS weekly, and I flush it if I get any netcode issues in mid-match. Most of the comments in regards to the netcode I get primarily come from console players, and it's often for a myriad of reasons ranging from being on Wi-Fi, crossplay on with PC, and peak hours. Or for you college kids trying to use the college dorm's Wi-Fi that is generally made and available for research purposes, not a resource hog like playing a video game. But those are generally the big three, and I've covered this in a different video. Some of the conversations I've had about this do have some legitimate points, but overall, if you direct connect, do some maintenance on your end, and run some tests of peak hours versus off-peak hours, you should see a difference. If not, I would really like to see your setup, as that would pique my curiosity. Besides, the devs have tweaked the netcode a few times, with one as recently as this past week, and they said they are continuing to monitor it for further tweaks. For fuck's sake, can you let the devs do their thing, please? This has been a thing in every Battlefield game. The launch, people noticing the netcode, and the devs tweak it until at last it's pretty much going to be as good as it gets. And every game launched usually came with the new technology to wrestle with each deployment. New consoles, new network technology, and an ever-growing player base with each launch. That's a lot of netcode refinement. Fix the audio. Well, like the netcode, the devs also released an update to this, and they're tracking it for further tweaks. See, kiddos, I really don't know what you mean by all this. I don't have trouble with the audio. After the fix, I still hear this loud-ass crack of sniper fire next to me, but I no longer hear choppers above my head that aren't really there. As far as the footsteps are concerned, I hear them just fine, even through my tinnitus. So what exactly are you talking about here? So until I can get some specifics from viewers that can actually articulate their experience and not give me game bad, that pretty much covers the preferences and issues for those lists. Now, the rest. The weird shit. Actually visible grenade indicator, please. Sir, it's called your eyeballs and ears. When a player throws a grenade, it glows. That shit doesn't happen in real life. I've thrown them. Never saw a single one glow. Anyway, you see it tossed and it glows on the screen. So use your eyes, my dude. Plus, if one is close enough to you, your character starts to panic and starts breathing harder to match the panic. So you have both audio and visual cues. You should perhaps pay attention to those. Or am I missing something here? Visibility needs a lot of work. This is the most out-of-touch part of the current list, in my opinion. In what context? Packetall base alone? Dude, it's dark for a reason. It's a mechanic. Use your NVGs or flashlights. Hell, use the IVRs if you have them unlocked. We are in the Nightfall phase. The entire point of the new darkness modifier in the Hackatall base tunnels is limited visibility. Asking for better visibility in a season themed around infiltrating the shadows with NVGs and flashlights is basically asking to delete the seasonal gimmick. The map is literally called Nightfall. If you can make traps and players glow in the dark, you've deleted the only defensive utility for holding your position or taking a control point. Or are we talking overall in the game? Again, in what context? Shadows? Not seeing a well-hidden Claymore? The player wearing camo that blends into the environment as intended? Not having flashy iridescent weapon skins? I get smacked around from time to time for not seeing a player, but since I record most of my gameplay, I go back to the instant replay and boom! There's that little bastard and I was moving too fast or not paying attention. I don't blame the game! I go, okay, I got popped with my mouth open. And I move on. So again, I would need more context from viewers to really get into this whole visibility thing. Spread is always going to be an abusable mechanic no matter how much it's increased because you can always just burst fire to play outside your intended damage range. Dude, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you're running a CQB weapon and you take a target of opportunity, you short burst that bitch to control your spread and recoil to play outside the intended range. If you're getting creamed by a player, we will discuss the bot problem later, by an SMG 100 meters out, see if you got tapped or got the full business. I'm willing to bet you just got tapped. So again, not something to whine about regarding the game. This is a classic, don't hate the game, hate the player. You're asking the devs to take away a mechanic that actually works correctly because you hate getting popped by someone who knows how to use it? Is that it? Battlefield 6 needs some spit and polish. That's not up for debate. And the devs advise they are working on a lot of it. We got a huge quality of life dump updates on the 17th. Again, doesn't sound like a dead game to me. Further, that's not the end-all be-all of updates we should expect. They stated they were eyeballing the audio and the netcode even after the latest update, so we should see future tweaks here. But guys, so far, this laundry list of weird-ass hostage demands is way out of what's reasonable for issues. Sections of the Battlefield community's ability to ask for Battlefield 4 mechanics with the high spread and bursting while complaining about the side effects of those exact mechanics, like bursting outside of intended range, is honestly impressive. It's like they want the feeling of a tactical shooter, but the simplicity of an arcade shooter. We need to make sure of a couple things here, folks. We need to separate issue from preference. Some of you need to come to terms with not being as elite as you might think you are. Map awareness is indeed a skill. I'm looking at you, Enders. An issue is hit registration or desync. This is worth mentioning, but you also have to consider everything surrounding it. Your network, server exchanges, peak hours, clutter in your pipeline, Wi-Fi versus direct connect, crossplay, etc. Have the bots revive smarter, or have the bots not beam players in the face from 100 yards out through smoke? This is a mechanics issue worth discussing. Saying shit like, we need an indicator for grenades? That's not a game issue. That's not using your fucking eyeballs issue. Suggesting shotguns are too OP is not a game issue. That's a preference. And that's pretty much the whole sum of this video. If you want all the things Battlefield is not because you have preferences for TTK, game behavioral mechanics ranging from weapons, vehicles, player abilities, skins, whatever, levels of destruction, pacing, map design, content release schedules, and a slew of other things, go play another game, guys. It's really not that hard. But Hannibal, we love Battlefield, and we want it to succeed. Well, motherfuckers, you sure as hell aren't acting like it. You got one fucked up way of showing it. Rage bait content. Pissing and moaning about some dude just beamed you in the face because he had a trigger and muzzle control from 100 meters out and you blame the game. Demanding elite level gaming from casual players in a casual game designed for casuals. Again, I'm looking at you, Enders. Then turning around and talking down to people who legitimately ask you if you hate it so much, why are you playing it, and then never really addressing the question or banning them on X or from your stream. Telling others still they have low expectations because they like the game so far, even with the technical flaws. Dude, I could keep going. It's a game, guys. It's really not that serious. It's not that deep. You guys thinking shotties and shit are too OP simply haven't been paying attention, or you're new here. If you haven't been paying attention, well, you should probably fire up older titles and use them and then tell me how they behave differently. If you're new here, get comfortable with your discomfort and start learning how to use them and avoid them. Quit blaming a game for your screw-ups, your lack of spatial awareness or map awareness. Pay attention to your screen when grenades are lobbed your way. It's literally right there on the fucking screen. Guys, be honest with yourselves. Is the game really at fault here, or just how you play? Is it a real technical or mechanical issue that stops the game from launching, playing, or flowing properly? Or is it a preference in how you hate the other player being able to do things you can't or hadn't thought of? When the assault players figured out ways to use the ladder in maps like Sobek City, I didn't get mad. I was impressed. So I made it my goal to remove them from their newfound hiding spots. Now look at us. Can't even have the Battlefield IQs challenged because you guys bitched that they went to places they shouldn't be going to. The fuck out of here. If the game is too slow for you, too dumbed down for you, you can't handle, let alone understand that this is a game that was designed for the casual in mind, you should probably play a game more your speed. And I'm going to get to that in a later video. Thanks for watching, guys. Look, I see lists like this all the time, confusing preferences with real issues. I honestly think people don't seem to understand the difference sometimes. Those of us who really love the game, we want it to improve, but nerfing or buffing shit into the ground because people don't know how to play the game is not the answer. It never has been. Balance for fair mechanics is one thing. Not allowing yourself being challenged because someone better than you in a game comes along is a completely different topic. If you're an elite player, fine, no judgment here. If you're a casual player, same thing. but understand the difference between something that needs to be fixed for all and something you don't like seeing. I would very much like to hear your take on this in the comments. What's an issue you want addressed, and what's a preference you wish you'd see or not see? You know about the plugs. You know about the likes, the shares, and where the sub button lives. That is, if you like this sort of thing. The goal is 3K, folks. We're almost there. From the merch store, purchases, the sub growth, and the memberships, the support is awesome, and I cannot thank you all enough for it. And speaking of support, please open the video description and check out March's Veteran Support Group Spotlight. It's located at the very bottom of the video description. There's a brief bio and a link. Check them out, see if you wish to support our troops. Okay, Monday. Fucking yuck. But go forth, my hood rats, and get in your game and fuck shit up. And until the next one, out.